everybody. Come on in. It's Sean. This is me on Things and Stuff. We're going to hang out and just talk about things and stuff. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. So come on in. Like and share. Hey Dale. Hey Jack. Hey Nissa. Good to see we got a good group here. Good to see some people coming in. This is a live show. Everything we do is live. And this is me on Things and Stuff. So it can be about absolutely anything. The only thing I ask is that we keep it positive. I have been bumming myself out today. I am working on a video about Joe Biden. And it has got to be some of the most depressing shit I have ever put myself through, going through this man's gaffes. Joe Biden is imploding, mentally falling apart. It's not funny, it's sad, and it's terrifying because they're pushing this man as a presidential candidate on the American people. And I'm compiling a highlight reel of sorts of the fact that Joe Biden is falling apart mentally. I'm not a doctor, but there's something clearly wrong with this man. Hell, I was sent a clip right before the show, actually, from a rally he's having, where he just got done. He couldn't even figure out who he's trying to elect. He finally ended up saying, we can only re-elect Donald Trump. The man can't even tell his crowd, we must defeat Donald Trump. He stumbles all over it, and then he comes up with, all we can do is re-elect Donald Trump. That's a Freudian slip on his part. He knows that his campaign cannot beat Donald Trump. They're not trying to. That's what's terrifying about it. They're pushing a man who's clearly not mentally fit on the American people for president, knowing he can't win, knowing he'll be torn to shreds by Donald Trump. And everybody says, well, don't be mean, don't expose Joe Biden's mental problems or his gaffes. And the mainstream media wants to just laugh about it and brush it off like it's not a big deal. This is the most important job I can think of that we're trying to nominate somebody for. And the man is clearly sick. He's clearly not well. And I don't care. I don't really want to talk about politics a whole lot today. It's not what this is going to be about. But this is crazy, what's going on. And working on that Joe Biden video is making me sad. It's not funny. It's sad. Jack says I'm smoking some White Tahoe cookies. I want some cookies, Jack. I want some cookies. Tell me how to get them cookies. I need some. Got them empty pipes. And there's rough times out in these streets. Nobody that works 40 hours a week should have to scrape resin to get high. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a better world. And Joe Mencha, like Kilo says, Joe Mencha is not going to get us to that better world. So we can't have that. Nissa says I'm smoking Indica Dominant. Man, you guys got to rub it in my face. The moon is pretty. It is pretty out, Nissa. I was looking at the moon. I love to look at the moon. It's one of my favorite things is to stare at the moon. And I got this little telescope. It's not that fancy, but it's good enough. And, you can get pretty good detail. And I love to stare at the moon. It's one of my favorite things to do. And on indica or sativa, this could quickly turn into a cannabis dominant show. We are very cannabis friendly on this feed and in our shows, all of our shows, even the political one. Bernie is big on legalizing cannabis. Dale says I'm already amazed. I don't know what I did to amaze you, Dale, but hopefully I do it again and do it often. Dale says I had to check Leafly for the White Tahoe cookies. Looks interesting. All I have is some homegrown Kaya Gold. Fair to Midland. Jack, I'm gonna give you my address. I am. We're gonna do this. Make this happen. Make my dreams come true. What is? Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it too. So I don't know about that strain. I've never heard of that strain. You know, I haven't even experienced very many strains. Even Dale's sounds impressive to me. Kaya Gold, that sounds nice. I would love some Kaya Gold. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't turn my nose up at it. The last stuff I got from a dispensary was called Green Crack. Kilo says he's getting his head proper right now, too. Everybody is. Everybody is. I'm jealous. I'm jealous, guys. Jack says legalizing cannabis would create a bunch of jobs, high-paying jobs. Jobs in the cannabis industry are high-paying, good jobs. You know, that's statistically true. And it's just something that needs to happen. Cannabis is a miracle. Cannabis is medicine. And all of us know that. All of us understand that. It's just making everyone else understand it, removing the stigma of being a cannabis user. Hey, Ginger. Good to see you. We're just doing a me on things and stuff. This can be about absolutely anything. It's not really about politics. I kind of talked a little bit about politics already, only because I'm making a video on Joe Biden. I think it needs to be exposed that a man who has the signs of dementia or Alzheimer's, something is wrong with him mentally, running for president, being pushed on the American people as a fake frontrunner. And since, Kilo's here and a lot of the burner guys, I'm going to go ahead and address something really quick that I saw today that made me feel a lot better, put things into perspective. We've talked a lot about how we are in a much better position than we were in 2016, but I don't think we're really thinking about it right now. At this time in 2016, we were behind by 600 delegates. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Our delegate count gets closer and closer every day. Joe Biden didn't do that great on Super Tuesday. Everybody's trying to pump it up, but that cost them billions of dollars, or over $1 billion, to pull that little stunt. And that's all they could do, was pull off slight victories. No dominant victories. Nothing like what we did in California, the most diverse state in the nation. So I just wanted to say that and throw that out there really quick, because I've been devastated all week, and I know a lot of people have. A lot of people were hurt and taken aback by how that played out. We are in a much better position than we were in 2016. We are positioned to win, and I think everything's going to go great. That's why I wanted to do a me on things and stuff, something fun, because this has been emotionally taxing this last week. And not that we will need to get away from the fight or not focus on the fight. It's just it doesn't always need to be about the fight. And I only even thought of that because of your profile picture. Ginger, as a lot of people have changed their profile picture on Facebook to election fraud. Because we don't believe what's being churned out is truth right now. And Ginger says Bernie's in Michigan and his rallies are way better since Super Tuesday. Oh, Ginger says we're not even behind in delegates anymore? Right on. I hadn't seen the latest numbers. I knew it was shrinking and shrinking, his lead. Dale says I caught a couple Sanders rallies today. Keeps me going. I love watching Bernie. Bernie's very consistent. Bernie says the same things, but I don't ever get tired of hearing it. You know what I mean? I find Bernie very inspiring. Ginger says him talking in Flint was great, and he's doing a town hall Monday on Fox. Right on. I like that Bernie will go on Fox and speak to the other side. It does no good to close yourself off and only live in an echo chamber. And that's not helping anyone. It's not doing anything positive. So it's good that Bernie does that and reaches out to the Fox viewers and Trump voters and that crowd and that audience. That's why he's going to win. That's why we're going to win. But I think we need to start changing our approach a little bit. I do. Like, just to get real for a second, again, not trying to get political. But we need to back off especially the troll blue no matter who people and these Dems. Just leave them be. Don't get them riled up. Their candidate's falling apart. He's going to implode on his own. Dion says, I shook Bernie's hand yesterday in Detroit. Man, I thought I was jealous of Dale and Jack, Dion. But now I'm jealous of you. Ginger says, nope, Bernie is saying more hard-hitting stuff now. Well, I need to check out today's rally. Somebody share me that feed. And I'm sure I'll be able to find it and track it down. But I got to watch it. I got to see it. I love watching me some Bernie. So maybe I'll do a watch party. Hey, Noel. Good to see you guys coming in. Kilo says this only confirms Bernie is the right choice. Bernie is the only choice, All right, it is going to get political. I can't help it. Every one of my shows turns into the Daily Burn. It's the only fight going on against the establishment and the powers that be. Look how much effort they're putting into stopping it. It's the only person they're doing that with. It's the only person they're trying to stop in that way. I can't think of any fight that matters as much as the one that's going on right now. And I wish that everyone felt that way. I wish that everyone could see it for what it is. This is beautiful what's happening. And I'm glad that I'm a part of it. And I'm dedicated to doing all I can to make sure that it happens, make sure that it goes forward, and we bring these things into reality. But Kilo says Cornel West was good today too. Damn it! Now I want to watch the rally. I love Cornel West. If you tell me Killer Mike or Nina was there, we're in the feed right now and starting up a watch party of this rally because I'm going to have to see it. But I'm glad Bernie's coming out hard now. He needs to swing harder. Sometimes it bothers me that Bernie's so nice. I like Bernie. I'm not putting him down. But I wish he'd get in and get more aggressive sometimes. So that's good. I'm glad that he's swinging. So I'm excited to see that. But what do you guys want to get into? Like I said, I've been staring at the moon. I was outside before this, playing with my telescope, looking at the moon. So, and as you guys know, we do a Conspiracy Theories and Chill show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And I happen to be a conspiracy guy. And I got a lot of interesting thoughts about the moon. But we can talk about anything at all you guys want to. We could talk more about Bernie. We could talk more about cannabis. We could talk more about anything at all. We're just hanging out. This is me on Things and Stuff. And this can go anywhere. Kilo says he was pretty aggressive. Man, we're gonna start a watch party here in a second. I got to figure out how I'm gonna incorporate YouTube. I had a frustrating day at work. So that's something everyone can relate to, and we can get into for just a little bit. I had a weird day at work. You ever had your boss take a weird stand with you that just was out of the blue? That's what happened today. I was kind of called lazy when I thought I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. It's It's weird sometimes. Having a boss is just a weird experience. It's a weird part of humanity, a weird part of life. Having to just take it sometimes when it's just not even right. You know, you want to make a case for yourself, but it would do you no good. Hate those situations. Dale says Dr. West was on fire. Nina was there too. Man. No, so she says sorry, my bad. Politics for life. I was watching YouTube for a minute. No, don't feel bad, Ginger. I'm obsessed. Let's bring it up. Let's talk about it. Why am I trying to take something off the table? This is me on things and stuff. Politics is stuff and things. So it's relevant. I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with this fight. And I'm deeply emotionally involved. It's rattling me. It's making it hard to do other things. It's making it hard for me to focus on other things and do other topics like conspiracy theories and chill type stuff. Things I used to really enjoy doing, things that were a lot of fun. I find myself getting caught up in a political discussion instead of doing something else I was supposed to be doing. Or, you know, I'm researching for this debate. I'm in a debate on the 22nd on a friend's podcast with a blue no matter who doesn't believe Bernie's electable. And I'm trying to study and research and get as informed as I can to do as well as I can in this debate, making the case that Bernie is not only electable, he's the only one that can beat Donald Trump. Ginger says, never been called lazy. She didn't outright call me lazy, but she may as well have. Like, she implied I wasn't doing what I should have been doing. Like, we have like an assembly line type of setup where I work. And everyone has their specific jobs and sub-jobs. And I thought I was nailing both of those. But like, sometimes she has unrealistic expectations where she expected you to do other things outside of that. And you really don't have the opportunity. You can't properly do job 1 and job B while doing 3 other things. You know, it's not realistic. So she didn't outright call me lazy. She just implied it. Kilo says it's all connected. The political nightmare touches everything. A vicious circle. Man, it is. You know, we're all about the truth, so we may as well talk about it. Jack says, I hate working for the jackass of a boss. She's not. I don't want to sell her in a bad light. This was the first time that's ever happened that I can think of. That's why it was such a shock. Like, she's a great lady. I don't mean that. I just mean sometimes it sucks having a boss. You know, it's a bad situation to be in sometimes. But then you got to remember and keep in the back of your mind, well, they have a boss that they have to report to, and blah, 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 all the way up the ladder. So, Ginger says the moon is super sexy. What do you think, Ginger? When you look at the moon, what does it make you think of? I'm flirting with something. I'm dying to get into it. Because I don't think we've ever been there. Now, they say we've been there 7 times, but I don't think so. When I look at the moon, that's literally the only thing I think about. Ginger says the case for being electable can be based on the percentage of Americans that approve of his policies. Bernie is the 99% candidate. You're preaching to the choir, sister, but I'm going to have to make that case to someone that's blue no matter who, afraid of Bernie because of the socialism stuff, and feels like there'll be so much propaganda hurled at it. It's not that he doesn't like him, even. It's just that he doesn't think that he's electable and can beat Donald Trump. So I just have to convince, and that's why I think it's important, and I'm trying to prepare so much for it, is because I'm getting to make the best case that can be made right now. because we're going to win over some Trump fans too. They don't like to admit that, but we will. And Bernie's speaking to that crowd, and apparently again on Fox in a few days. So we will win over some of them, but we need to win over these the straight voting blue, no matter who Democrats. We need to win over a lot of them as well. So I'm excited to make that argument, and I hope I do a good job. And anything you guys want to send me, please do. Feel free. Tag me in it. Any kind of post that you think's relevant to making a good case of Bernie's electability. Any statistical stuff you want to share with me, I would appreciate it, because that's what I'm doing for the next 3 weeks is studying for this debate. I hear this guy's a really good debater, so Jack says it's turtles all the way down. Oh, I get it. I get it. Ginger says jump over that title and keep with the policies. Kilo says it's frustrating when people leave out so much on the table because they're stuck on an ism. Limits their thoughts. Yeah, you're right. And that's why I've been a little freer with the language. I don't know if you've noticed that. I was trying to be careful because, I had a lot of people tell me that I needed to be. But I don't think I need to over-censor myself. Plus, it makes you lose your train of thought sometimes when you're trying to pick a different word than you would actually use. So I'm just being a little freer with that. And we'll just have to see how that works out with the algorithm. Because I've noticed that anytime I just recently made it to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Everybody clap real quick. We all were part in that. Everybody that's here right now was a part in making that happen. But we got monetized when that happened. So the channel can run ads now. But every video that I upload pretty much says, if it's approved for monetization, it says limited because of content. And I know it's because I'm accidentally cussing, because they're censoring everything, even the daily burns, which doesn't make much sense until you consider that what I talk about on the daily burn is not something that the powers that be want out. And Google owns YouTube, and Google is mainstream media, so they suppress everything. Jane Fonda endorsed Bernie. We got a lot of cool celebrities in our corner, you know it? I'll take it. I'll take Jane Fonda. I'm excited about this. And I never really put it in that perspective. How much better of a position we are in this time than we were in 2016, this very same time. We're doing great. And they threw everything at us to curb us. And it didn't really work when you think about it. So it's exciting. Yeah, Dale, thank you. I was excited about hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It opens up a lot of doors. I mean, the monetization thing I'm not really that excited about, because the stuff that I do, like I've said, doesn't get ads, really. I mean, you'll see them on my videos, but those are the ones that you don't really make anything for. And what's funny is on the Daily Burn, you know what you see a lot of? Or you probably won't anymore, but you did. Bloomberg ads all over the Daily Burn. Kilo says, don't know about Fonda. She not regarded highly among Vietnam vets. They called her Hanoi Jane. Yeah. And that was in the back of my mind when I was just now talking about Jane Fonda, that there will be negative feedback, especially from the right, on Jane Fonda's endorsement. Ginger says the moon is all about ambiance and the correct lighting, which makes us all look good. It's exactly what I think about the moon. I think that's what it's for. And nights like tonight are the best time to be outside, and that's where we're all prettiest. So you're on to something. You're definitely on to something. Ginger says knew about that with Jane. Yeah, well, Kilo says, but if it helps, then cool. It can't be bad, you know. And I wouldn't spend too much time out on that limb. You know, burn a lot of bridges, especially on the right. That's the only thing. Those are the people that are going to be upset about it. But hey, John. Jack says we, the majority of the people, get bigger every day. The movement is moving. Feel the burn. This is happening. It's exciting. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm really excited about it. Kilo says, yeah, Jane Fonda kind of screwed the pooch when she went to the north and got pictures taken. It was a long time ago, though. Yeah. Well, we'll have to see that play out, right? I don't know. I don't know what that will look like. You know, it's always people expecting Bernie to do this or that. I don't understand that. I don't understand that mentality. Just like I'm kind of mad at Tulsi for putting Bernie on the spot and asking him to do something about her not being invited to the debates or not being involved in the debates or to raise a fuss and a stink about it. That is something that she should do, absolutely, and everybody should do. Raise a fuss about them moving the goalposts to keep Tulsi out of the debates. It's disgusting. But why is she putting Bernie on the spot? Do you guys agree with her doing that? What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that? Kilo says that Jane Fonda pushes for environmental policies. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of positives there. People will focus on. You're right, though. People will focus on the Hanoi Jane stuff. But what do you guys think? Ginger says, Bernie says, not me, us. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's Bernie's job to do certain things. Like, I don't agree with putting it on Bernie. It's our job. Bernie is a politician. Bernie has to appeal to all sorts of people. He has to appeal to the wide audience. He can't just, it's not like us. He can't take the moral high ground all the time and do exactly what he wants to do. He has to do and appeal to the general public, to the masses. So I think people forget that. You know, he's trying to win votes, trying to win popularity, and not every little fight. When you're in you got a big goal you're shooting for, you can't take on every little fight. So exposing it, how much does she want him to do? And I also, again, I love Tulsi, but I don't really understand why she's still in the race. Because I think they're working together, and it just seems like it would be the time for them to merge. Ginger says, I do want him to address election fraud, though. I know, but how much can he? It Because that was a point that a friend at work made. And he's a Trump supporter. And he was talking about, they're screwing over your boy. And he was like, your boy's too nice about it. And he's not 100% wrong. But if Bernie spent his time focusing on that and railing about that and trying to prove it, because he's going to have to prove it, you can't just say it. You got to start being able to prove it, and then focusing all his energy on that. Doesn't that divert attention from the main fight? And couldn't it possibly derail it? I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying it's our job. I don't know what he'll do. he may not. I just don't put it on him. You know, I don't. I don't personally. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, but I just realized I forgot to scroll. Ginger said a tweet would be good. She said tweeted support. I don't know if that means he did or if he should. But like you could do something like Trump does. Trump likes to subtweet and like retweet stuff to imply that he agrees with it. Kilo says stepped out for a second. Oh, you don't know what we're talking. We were talking a little bit about Tulsi and people expecting Bernie to do stuff. You know, like they moved the goalposts to keep Tulsi out of the debates. She qualified for the debates, and they moved the requirements to keep her out. And she called on Bernie on Twitter to speak out and stand up for her about it. Ginger says, listen, I'm a nonstop donator, and we can't ask for the recount. The candidate has to. It costs $100,000 to start one. It's our votes, and our votes need to be counted. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. So you want, let me see if I'm, so the states on Super Tuesday, some of these close contests, we should be demanding a recount in these states. I get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with it. I just wonder sometimes how much he can take on and keep the focus of the American people. It's not our focus he has to keep. It's not our loyalty he has to keep. You got to remember how stupid these people are. A lot of people just voted for a man that clearly has dementia. There's a lot of people, good people, that feel like you should vote for him too, that you should support him for president. Sick man. People are very stupid. Frighteningly. It worries me a lot. And he's got to appeal to these people, the average people. And you got a rigged media. You think about everything you're up against. I don't know. Maybe I'm too big picturing it. I mean, looking at it from too far back. I think it's our fight. I think we have different jobs, and that's our fight as activists. I mean, I get he has to push for it. So I guess it can't be our fight. I didn't look at it that way. You're right. Jack says Texas found some uncounted votes. Hey, Clinton. This is me on things and stuff. We keep talking about Bernie, but we can literally talk about absolutely anything. Uncounted votes in Texas. Well, well, well. You know, I've been so hurt. I really was devastated. I'm a little ashamed to say how devastated I was by Super Tuesday. I was taken aback. I wasn't ready for it, you know. Everything I had seen, every bit of evidence showed that was going to go a completely different way than it did. And it was shocking. So I have kind of pulled back a little bit since then and tried to get my head together, keep my head together. Mostly because I've committed to doing that daily little show that we do. And I kind of have to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do that. You know, I have to. And I also wouldn't. You know, because I'm not going to get on there and lie and tell you that we can do something I don't believe we can do. You know, I wouldn't do that either. So, Kilo says it as well. Texas had a lot of voter suppression with polling places closed. I knew that. I knew that. They closed hundreds of polling places in Texas in minority and poorer areas to suppress the vote. They're rigging this primary. She's right. Ginger says, do need to fight for election integrity. He just has to call for the recount. Right on. Well, let's start tweeting at him, messaging him on Facebook, letting him know we want to call for these recounts. Go ahead and pull the trigger. They flirted with it in Iowa. So let's do it. I'm for it. That makes more sense. I knew what you meant. That makes more sense than Tulsi's little fight she wants him to take up to put her into debates. She's not a viable candidate. Nothing against Tulsi. I'd love her up there. She's an attack dog. Who doesn't want her up there? I just don't see what he'd be fighting for in that particular instance. You're right, Ginger. They'll keep doing it if we don't. We can't turn a blind eye, and I'm agreeing with you more and more the more I think about it and the more I mull it over. Because we can't wait till the convention. We can't wait till then. We gotta be waking people up now, getting people to understand what's going on now, and proving it now, pointing it out now. We wait till then, we're just going to look like babies again. We'll look like pout babies. That's what they'll call us. That we're just being sore losers, and we can't accept reality. We need to expose it. You're right. I wish I could double love that comment. Because you're absolutely right. The more I think about it, the more I'm agreeing with you. This is important, and I don't know why everybody doesn't care. I really don't. Like I said that earlier, it should mean something to everybody. This is an election. This matters. It's important. No matter how you feel politically, it's a rigged election in this country. That should make you angry. You should be upset about that. It's not funny. It's not cute. And I get that there's an Operation Chaos on the right, the Trump supporters. They have this operation called Operation Chaos, where they plan to derail our primary and get Joe Biden nominated. So that's a problem too. These people think it's a joke. Of course, they believe that they're doing great under President Trump and there's nothing to worry about in that regard. So it's just funny to give Trump a person with dementia that will never be able to stand up to him in a debate, in any kind of debate situation. He'd tear him to shreds. So I get why they're doing that, but we need to remember they're doing that and take that into account as well. So we're up against that. Operation Chaos. Isn't that the craziest thing you've ever heard of? That's just like, it's hilarious. This is just a game. It makes me angry, honestly. Kilo says the debate now will be clearly between two candidates. Tulsi should be there, but positive side is all focus will be on the ones with a chance of winning. And I hope that Biden implodes sooner than later. Like, he can't help but not. The man can barely finish a sentence. He can't get a thought out. And he gets very frustrated trying to speak. You can tell there's something wrong. And it's kind of good that he'll be getting that much focus. I don't want it to be a 3, 4, 5 person debate. I want Joe Biden to get to talk for as long as Joe Biden possibly can, because the longer he talks, the better the odds go up that he'll say something incredibly stupid. Jack says if Bernie took Tulsi for VP, we'd get a bunch more people on the team. I think it'd be a great idea for their campaigns to merge. I really do. And I hope that's what we see. I really hope that's what we see happen. I'm worried though, because she's not acting like it. I'm not seeing this move. It seems a little weird. For her to make noise is one thing, but then to request that he does it, I think is a little odd. Unless he does it, and then I'll be like, okay, now I get it. So they're doing some kind of play. You know, I'm assuming he's got a strategy in place, and if it fits it, he'd make a fuss about it. Clinton says Biden and Hillary are feeble. Hillary's in bad shape too. Hillary was in bad shape when they were trying to run her for president. We were talking about that as well. We couldn't get people to see it. She was wearing diapers. She was having to be guided up to this podium. Had to have a doctor nearby. And she was having problems mentally as well. So you're right. It's crazy that they just feel like they can sell whoever they want as president. And people eat it up. That's the crazier part. That's what's more disturbing, is that people eat it up. They buy it. There are people, good people, that think you should vote for Joe Biden. They don't know why. He's got a D next to his name. And that's enough reason for them. They'll do it just for that. Ginger says we have to fight for every single delegate and every vote matters. Absolutely. And we're going to have to claw this out of their hands. Jack says, I heard that Joe pick for VP is going to be Amy. Really? Amy? I got to wow that. Because I saw them telegraphing Elizabeth Warren, and then I had heard Hillary. As crazy as that sounds, it's not really that crazy. But I wouldn't want to be Joe Biden in that situation. With Hillary as your VP, I would not want to be a heartbeat away from Hillary Clinton being president. She's a little too ambitious for my taste, a little too evil, vindictive. Ginger says people die for the right to vote. I'm with you, sister, 100%. And like I said, the more I think about it, the more I believe you're right. So we should hit Bernie up and his campaign manager and all the key members of the campaign and let them know that's what we want. Make it known. That's the only way. We just got to make our voices heard. So I'm with you. I think we need to demand that. Let's do it. Clinton says, I don't support Bernie, but I support fair elections. Two-party system is more of a one-party system. Left wing, right wing, same bird. You're absolutely right, man. And I'm glad to hear you say that you care about it, that it matters to you. This is disgusting. This is what's going on in the Democratic Party. From your side has to be hilarious, for one. But I'm glad to hear that it's disturbing as well. Because this is democracy. It's supposed to be. But if you have a completely rigged game, is it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm glad to hear that, man. And Jack, you're right. We need to get rid of the two-party system. But until we have massive reform in our election process, we're just not there yet. There's a lot that needs to be done before that's a reality. You know what I mean? At the presidential level, but we can do that from the ground up. You see what I mean? Clinton says, I don't understand why he ran Democrat even after the fiasco in 2016. Because of what you said, man. The two-party system. That's the only way. The only other way would be for him to run as a Republican. You got to run as a Democrat or a Republican. That's the way it's set up. It's I don't think a third party could realistically win, even helmed by Bernie Sanders. And I'm a pretty big Bernie fan, you know. And I know we have a good group. We're a very strong core group of millions of volunteers that would follow him to a third party. I just I don't know. I don't know. The media and the election process is just so rigged up and corrupt that it would be so hard to do. There's so much money in politics and so many hurdles for a third party right now. Kilo says Tulsi can have a spot in the administration. Oh, for sure. I would think Secretary of State, but I think VP. All signs point to that. Makes the most sense. Kilo says parties are obsolete. They often require you to become more loyal to the party than to your country. That's true. And political parties and politics is just divisive anyway. It's meant to break us up in little groups, keep us easily manageable. And the illusion of control. Jack says it's the people that don't vote that cost the election. You know, a lot of people can't be bothered to vote. It's kind of sad how many people feel like they don't need to vote, don't need to participate, don't need to take part. Like, I ain't even mad at you if you don't agree with me politically, but you're active and informed. You know, you just philosophically disagree with me. You can't win them all. You know what I mean? I hope that I win, but I don't hate you. You're not my enemy, and I can understand the fact that and it's okay even that we disagree about certain things. We can even be passionate about it. But can't grow unless we involve and learn from each other and look past our differences as much as possible. Some things you can't look past, you know, like when your creepy uncle drops the N-word at Thanksgiving. You're going to have to acknowledge that. But Clinton says you have to be backed by billionaires to even get to run. How's Bernie running? And then the media can blackball you like they did Ron Paul. They blackball Bernie. The media is running a full-on assault on Bernie Sanders. And if they cover him at all, it's in a negative light. Hey, Ginger, see you later. Thanks for hanging out. Jack says it's sad. It is sad. It's very sad. Kilo says the revolution may be turned into a third party, but it would be years before they had any power. Yes. Yes. I wish that wasn't true, but I think it is. Well, guys, I wanted to hang out with you guys for a little while, and we did. But I have to go. I have to go pick up Babels. And I lost track of time, actually. I better get going. But thanks for hanging out. This has been me on Things and Stuff. It ended up being mostly political. I was hoping that we would talk about anything else because I spent so much time talking about politics. But you guys were right, and it's part of life. So why shy away from it? But thanks for hanging out for a little while and all of that. And I'll see you guys next time.